Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's live stream. My name is Sumer, representing the International Department here at Pratham. And today I'm here to talk to you about how to shortlist universities and the parameters for you to understand your program, your university, and your country selection. So let's dive right in. All right, so today's objectives are number one, why study abroad, right? We'll be talking about different reasons for you to actually start thinking on going abroad to study and planning your international education endeavor. Secondly, we'll also be talking about choosing the right course and the country and the university and how to go about doing the entire process. And third, I would also be talking to you about the salient features of popular countries here, right? So let's begin. The first and the foremost aspect here is that why should one actually think on the lines of going abroad to study at an undergraduate level or at a postgraduate level? Even after you do your postgrad and then you move forward in terms of doing a PhD or something, it's always a wonderful experience. The number one aspect for going abroad to study is self-reliance. Now, speaking strictly as a psychologist, I have seen that when when Indian students go abroad to study, there's a lot of independence that they actually find. Right, when they have to do their own work, their daily chores, they have to manage their education as well as their part-time work. A lot of these things come into play whenever you go abroad to study. So there is a lot of self-reliance when it comes to the entire international education aspect. There's a global perspective also. Now, what happens is particularly that when you go into, say, a country like US or UK or Canada or Australia, there are people from different walks of life, different cultures that come into play. And then you start learning about different cultures. So it widens your horizons in life. It's very important, for any student to have that kind of an education. It also has a flexible course curriculum, right? So there is a concept of majors and minors in certain countries wherein you can choose your entire education. You can design your entire education in that particular manner. So probably I can take up a major in psychology and a minor in anthropology, right? There are holistic parameters for admissions. So it's not only on the basis of your class 9th, your 10th, your 11th and your 12th performance, but it is also on the basis of the profile that you're standing out to. So for example, if you've done internships or you've done some projects which are very unique or some volunteering activities or things like that, right? So it is very important in that particular scenario. Practical education perspective, right? Now what happens is that when you learn, you're not learning only through your books, but you're learning through a lot of experiential things. So you have very advanced laboratories in different universities. You have, certain aspects wherein the professor is not teaching you in the classroom, but rather, outside or something on those lines in the park. And they're helping you in terms of learning practically, right? Availability of emerging courses and technologies. So new courses, the new age trends and the new age courses that are coming out, they're very much available abroad, right? Then there are work plus earn facilities also, which basically means that once when you go, in terms of going about your entire education, you can work part-time as well and you can earn out of that. So a lot of your living costs and things like that, they would start, coming into play. However, what are the parameters for course selection? So whenever, as counselors here, when we talk about university choices or country choices, the first parameter is always course choices. Is that intended course there in that particular university or that country? So the first aspect over here would be to identify your interests, your personality, and your aptitude. So by definition, interest basically means that what is your ambition later on in life. Personality means, how are you as a person and what kind of courses would match your entire intellect. And aptitude definitely is a definition wherein if you're good at something, given the right amount of guidance and training, you'll be able to outperform anybody, right? The second thing is introspective career goals. So for example, if you're planning on doing something in economics, maybe your career goal is to get into econometrics or operations research, right? So identifying that particular thing is very important. Research on your intended courses. So what happens usually is that a lot of students, when they think on the lines of going abroad, they would not research on their courses particularly, and then there would be a lot of surprises in your way, right? So you have to find that particular course which matches your, entire comfort factor. In fact, examining the curriculum, right? Examining the curriculum is also important, because what happens during this time is that what kind of courses are you studying in your first year versus whatever you're going to be studying in your second year and your third year, that you have to see, right? Calculate your chances. If you think that it is a very difficult course or in a difficult university, then you have to calculate your admission chances. So you have to, holistically review and see that what kind of admission requirements are there in that particular program, and are you being able to match those admission requirements. Sometimes what happens is that in Canada, if you're planning on doing something like business management and you do not have maths in class 11th and 12th, it can pose a barrier to you getting into certain universities. For that particular process, you have to research on these aspects, or rather than, blindly applying to these universities. Understand your future outcomes of the program, right? So you do a program, good enough, but understanding, what sort of career options come out of that program is also of importance. Because what happens is that maybe if I have done something like engineering, right? So what kind of fields can I get into? Maybe if I'm doing mechanical engineering, I may be able to get into mechatronics, or I may be able to get into something like robotics, or any of the other fields that are coming across at the moment. Thermodynamics, for example. So these are certain aspects that you have to really touch upon whenever you're starting your or planning your, journey in this regard. Next, there are certain popular courses here that you can, look at. And there are certain countries that correspond to these courses as well. So for example, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, it's like a group of programs that are, widely available. So you have new programs, new age programs that are coming across from the, STEM side particularly. And you can choose your interest in that particular manner also. Business and management, right? So business and management becomes a very diverse field when you're thinking. So you have areas like supply chain management, or you have areas such as logistics management, sports management, fashion management that come along whenever you think. Next is economics. Economics also has become a very diverse arena. As I mentioned initially, that, econometrics and operations research, business economics, these are some of the new age courses. Yeah. Apart from that, design, like UI, UX design, or interior design, or as a matter of fact, fashion design, they have amazing prospects abroad. Psychology, new age courses like dance therapy, art therapy, neuropsychology is also coming into play. Social work, right? Medicine, again, you can do amazing degrees outside, like a BMBS or an MBBS or things like that. However, there are certain unique courses also. There's financial risk management, assessing risks, right, through mathematical analysis, information technology management, a mix of business as well as information technology, right? Global business and digital arts, currently available at University of Waterloo. And the best thing about this program is that you get holistic knowledge between graphic design, digital marketing, and other business management areas as well. Fintech, a combination of computer science and finance all together to make, amazing new apps like your Google Pay or your Phone Pay or things like that. Data science, yes, it's one of the hottest careers right now. And the salary advantages are amazing here. Podiatry, this is more of medicine related, right? So it's more related to limbs and lower limbs particularly. And that is how it is. Business and psychology, you can do a combination of both these programs. Currently, again, at University of Waterloo, where you have honors, arts, and business, right? And then you can probably get into something like consumer psychology. International relations as well, maintaining foreign relationships as a part of a company. You could also work into as a news anchor, or into the media industry as an international relations expert. So these are some of the unique courses that one can basically think of, and there are a plethora of other courses also, right? So helping, for example, a country like Finland, become completely digital. There is a program called Open e-Government that is available widely. But once when you've decided your courses, the next aspect is deciding your universities. So the first and the foremost aspect is you have to match your entire intellect with the university that you want to go for. So you have to really assess the global prestige of the institution. You have to also realize that when it comes to examining the location and opportunities available in that particular arena, is that very friendly or not? So for example, the university might be really great, but you may not have abundant opportunities in and around the university to explore your interests or explore part-time work opportunities or network with your industries also. Finding the extracurricular opportunities available to first year freshman students is again now what happens is that a lot of international universities, what they do is that they have amazing clubs as extracurricular activities wherein you can participate in volunteering activities, or you can participate in certain other domains such as research. Undergraduate research is very prevalent right now among high school students. Then you can also do other activities like participating in a lot of competitions that keep on happening. So you have to see that are these kind of opportunities also available. Calculating your costs, right? Because going abroad to study specifically to some of the prime time countries, you have to really see, do you have the budget for it or not? If not, then also look at the certain scholarships that are available. And there are abundant scholarships available to international students as well, provided that you're doing amazingly well in your academics or your extracurriculars or both, and things like that. Research on the industrial partnerships of the institution, right? So in Canada, for example, there is this one concept called cooperative education. What happens in cooperative education is that you in certain semesters, you don't even have to study, but you have to work as an intern in certain companies, right? So that really helps in terms of, building on your experiential skills and also making you industry ready. Apart from that, you will also understand that what kind of companies are also coming in that particular institution where you can work and network with them. Maybe they're coming in for some sort of campus drive, or they're coming in for certain lectures or something on those particular lines, right? But how do you basically assess the global prestige of the institution? There are certain ranking indicators for this particularly, right? So one is, of course, assessing through the QS World Ranking System. That's actually one of the most reliable measures I've seen as a person who's been in the industry. So QS World Rankings, they rank an institution on the basis of, their research output, how many international students are they, actually hosting at the moment, then, the quality of their education and certain other, relevant parameters. And on the basis of that, they take out a general ranking of that particular university. US news, right, is another aspect. So if in case you're planning on going to US for your undergraduate or your postgraduate degree, that gives you a very comprehensive way to understand what kind of university is this is all about. Times Higher Education, again, a very relevant ranking system at the moment. Other ranking systems I am not going to suggest to you, because what happens is that the more you delve into rankings, it might confuse you a little further, because rankings are not the same across websites. So try and use those rankings only, maybe one ranking or two ranking systems, and that is how you can build it up. But rankings are not the only parameters through which you can assess the prestige of the institution. So rewinding back, the course curriculum, if it is completely in touch with whatever you're planning on doing, other than that, you can also review the faculties, right, who are teaching and what sort of stuff have they accomplished later on. Despite of this also, you can also assess the university on the basis of the campus reputation, right? So these are certain other aspects that you can look at despite, rankings, to understand what kind of an institution are you planning on going into. And ranking should not be your only parameter to assess, right? Now, next is some sort of popular countries that are there right now. So typically, when you think on the lines of a foreign education, one of the countries that would come to your mind would be United States of America. Yeah, USA is best known for courses such as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So you have amazing programs starting from data science to artificial intelligence to computing science. Then you also have different other arenas such as mechatronics or robotics, or you can think on the lines of doing something like a dual major between electrical and computer engineering. So these are some of the widely available fields. They are in a constant demand from Indians specifically to have, STEM related programs. I mean, because they think that we're good at it, definitely. So because of this particular regard, you should look at USA if in case you're planning on doing a STEM related program. Yeah, other programs also do very well in the US, such as design oriented programs, finance related programs, or you can think on the lines of business related programs also. The United Kingdom, on the other hand, is amazing for social sciences and commerce related arenas, right? So again, like business management, finance, economics, law, psychology, sociology. So these are some of the programs that you can definitely look at if you're looking at, the United Kingdom. There are other such programs also. In fact, engineering also, there is this institution called Imperial College London, right? Which is amazing in terms of its engineering degrees and science degrees also. Canada, one of the best assets of Canada right now is that the widely available settlement option or a post-study work permit option is widely available there. So in Canada, particularly, you have a wide range of courses, you could mix and match because the education system is very similar to the US. So typically in US and Canada, your first year is very general, wherein you study, you explore your interests, and that is how you can, decide a major in the second year particularly. So in Canada, again, you can do, a wide range of things. It's best known for computer science. It's best known for business management. It's best known for finance. It's best known for, nursing or medicine related fields also. Singapore, on the other hand, is one of the hottest favorites because, it's closer to home. So Indian parents are very comfortable sending the children there. But Singapore also has three institutions which are very widely popular, which is National University of Singapore, Singapore Management University, Nanyang Technological University, right? So these three programs are the government institutions of Singapore. They have amazing options. Sadly, there's not a part-time work opportunity or a post-study work permit opportunity available. However, if you get a tuition grant, which is a scholarship given by the Singaporean government, then you can stay back in the country for 3 years or 6 years, depending on the tuition grant that you've received. Netherlands and Ireland, definitely in Europe particularly, are these two countries wherein you have a higher adoptability of English, right? So Netherlands specifically has amazing programs. Again, like you could do something like business economics, you can do liberal arts, you can do psychology, you can do econometrics. So certain other areas, where you may be interested, Netherlands is the right option for you to be. Ireland, definitely very amazing for information technology jobs. It has, an amazing course curriculum that, the institutions would offer. So typically in Ireland, you have universities like Trinity College Dublin or University College Dublin, National University of Ireland Galway. Such kind of institutions are amazing here. When we talk about US, just to, rewind back a little, US has, certain other institutions. So we divide them into groups. So for example, you have the Ivy Leagues, you have universities of California, universities of Texas, then you have state universities of New York, and there are other, certain states which have their own set of group of institutions. So there are more than 4,000 institutions there in the US. UK, 24 institutions which are considered to be very top notch. So there is a family of institutions called the Russell Group Universities in the UK. Canada, you have amazing institutions like University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, University of Waterloo, University of Victoria, Simon Fraser University, such kind of institutions. Australia, on the other hand, again has a group of 8 institutions which are called Group of 8, right? These are the top-notch institutions there. Netherlands, on the other hand, would have, institutions like University of Amsterdam ranked in the top 60 of the world. Then you have Rotterdam School of Management, best known for business management arenas. So this is how basically you can, plan out your entire course curriculum and your university research. So I would take some questions also, right? What if you belong to middle class family going abroad, needs money? There are a lot of options that are available here. Devika, thank you for your question. What happens, it's not necessary that you have to shell out a lot of money for you to go abroad to study, right? European countries, on the other hand, are very cost effective. So you can definitely, plan your entire undergrad education if you are a high school student, in Europe, particularly if you're doing very well in your academics and extracurricular arenas. They have amazing scholarships in the US. So financial aid is something that you can find if you're in the need for some sort of financial assistance, or you can find merit-based scholarships also that are not relevant to your financial situation right now, but they're more relevant to your extracurriculars, your SCT, ACT performance if you've given that, and of course your entire profile that comes into play. Right. So apart from that, Arnav, thanks for your question. Ukraine also, yes, that's sadly a situation, but you can start planning from now on, and you can start diversifying your entire course options and university options, and then on the basis of what the situation is at that point of time, you should take a call, right? So that is how it basically happens, right? So from here at Pratham, we can help you with a wide range of things. From the international part, we can analyze your university goals. We can plan an entire course of action in terms of planning your extracurricular activities, your university research, and your other aspects like your visa guidance and things like that. We also research on a relevant activity list. So we have an exhaustive team which would help you in terms of finding the suitable extracurriculars that you can help in terms of building it. Getting the activities executed through you also, we help you in terms of building up an entire profile and motivating you to execute those particular activities. And we also brief students and parents regarding formalities for scholarship applications, right? So it's very important here when you're applying to different universities, you should definitely look at certain scholarships provided you fitting the criteria for that entirely. So that is how it is. Right. So in the end, I thank you so much for listening to this YouTube live session. And we'll continue to upload certain other live sessions also and move forward with it. Thank you so much.